while the trial was going. Thank you, Press Secretary Levitt. Some prominent Trump supporters have been making the case that Derek Chauvin deserves a pardon. They argue that he did not receive a fair trial. Joe Biden and other Democrats actually implied that he was guilty while the trial was going on. BLM rioters had these jurors under immense threat and pressure. Mainstream media, frankly, many news outlets here today are complicit here. They chose to ignore the autopsy report. They chose to ignore the full body camera footage. They decided to slander Derek Chauvin as a racist cop instead. Does the administration believe Derek...
Jesus. Actually, a bunch of Schoenberg's pupils were nationalists/sympathetic to the Nazis. Webern was ironically and tragically shot by an American GI after the war. Oh, I didn't know that.
Chauvin received a fair trial, and will they consider a pardon moving forward?
The president has been asked and answered this question. He said it's not something he's considering at this time. Philip.
Thank you.
I wonder why he wouldn't pardon Derek Chauvin. I'm actually really curious about that. Yeah, Karan, you just said Trump has nothing to gain from that. I thought that in my head. I was like, it's probably because Trump has nothing to gain from it. But then I remembered he pardoned all those J6ers, and it's not like those guys are running for office. So I feel like popular approval would be enough for him to do it. But I don't know why. Was it not a state crime? Well, there was a state charge and there was a federal charge. And the federal one, something about circumventing somebody's rights or whatever. I think he's serving the sentences concurrently, so it doesn't have to be one on the other. But I think that the federal one was also like a 21-year sentence. So if they pardon the federal one, there could be pressure on the state governor to pardon the... I don't know. And Destiny, watching non-live, just saw your comment from Santos about Dems lacking media training. Do you think this could make Dems focus on unpopular progressive policies? Maybe. There's a whole bunch of just weird stuff. Oh, I did ask Santos about this and he didn't have a good answer for me for why. And it's just one of those things that I'm so confused about is the most active left-leaning voters and donors even do not align with the party. It's so crazy that like the idea that you could utter the phrase grassroots donations are bad because they are, because on the left, they represent the average donor on the left for small donations is voting on stuff or supporting politicians who aren't popular, who wouldn't win general elections, who can't win their primaries like Bernie Sanders or whatever. No offense. Sorry. Don't be mean. But yeah, I don't know. It's just wild. I don't know.
I have one other question, but I want to follow up on Katie's question, actually. You said the mass deportation campaign would continue, but she asked about the flights specifically. Will those flights to El Salvador continue while this case is being appealed?
We don't have any flights planned specifically, but we will continue with the mass deportations. And I would just like to point out that
Are the marshals, so I haven't been here, so hopefully you've been following other people, but I heard that the flights were ordered to not happen. A judge said no, and then they did it anyway. So where are the marshals here yet? Or how many more TROs and judges' judicial orders are we going to be ignoring before something happens? Hello? Is anything going to happen? Or...
The judge in this case is essentially trying to say that the president doesn't have the executive authority to deport foreign terrorists from our American soil. That is an egregious abuse of the bench. This judge does not have that authority. It is the opinion of this White House and of...
You don't get an opinion on what judges have the authority to do, by the way. That statement is to... I hate that lefties have abused fascist so much. So now if I say it, it doesn't mean anything, okay? But the executive, you don't get to have an opinion on the judiciary. I'm sorry, you just don't. Kick rocks. If you don't like it, tell Congress to pass a different law. You don't get to decide when the judiciary is right or wrong. That defeats the entire purpose of having a separate branch of government.
Of this administration, and that's why we're fighting this in court. And it's very, very clear that this is an activist judge who is trying to usurp the president's authority.
Doesn't a judge have to issue a bench warrant to enforce it? What judges want to go that far? Any of them should be. They should go for it. Get the marshals out here.
Under the Alien Enemies Act, the president has this power, and that's why this deportation campaign has continued. And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist.
These statements are also super disgusting, and they super undermine the judiciary. Hello? Dragon dildo for Robert's asshole. This is your fault. You created this monster. And in your endless quest to constantly fight for your Supreme Court bullshit and to write opinions that are insane that support Trump in any way, shape, or form. Now you have the guy that you fucking simped for so hard completely trashing the judiciary.
Democrat activist. He was appointed by...
You can't and Roberts, by the way, even made a public statement about this, which I think isn't considered incredibly fucking rare. That, was this just said today? They've been saying this, right? Because I think I read this article yesterday. Rebuking talk from Trump. Roberts calls impeaching judges overrulings improper. Is very, very, very rare, I think, that the Chief Justice will issue public statements, especially about politics. For more than 2 centuries, the Chief Cuck said, it has been established that impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision. The normal appellate review process exists for that purpose. Trump had called the judge, James E. Boasberg, a radical left lunatic, and a social media post have said he should be impeached. On Saturday, Judge Boasberg ordered the administration to return planes carrying migrants said to be members of a Venezuelan gang to the United States. While he considered whether their removal was lawful, the planes did not turn around. Also, I haven't read much on this, but is it true that these people are just accused of being part of a gang? That there's no criminal charges, there's no like due process? They were basically just accused of being part of the gang and then just flown out of the country? Are these people all visa holders? Or are some of these people green card holders as well? Is there a proportionate response that should be given by the judiciary? What do you think about a public statement, however inappropriate that statement may be? No, I think that what the judiciary should do is just keep issuing TRO after TRO after TRO. They should do that while Schumer passes whatever the Republicans want, and eventually, I'm sure the Republicans will realize the error of their ways. I'm sure. Some have permanent citizenship. Wait, like they actually are U.S. citizens? Like they've been, is it called naturalized? Or when you go through your citizenship test from green card holder to citizenship test? That's wild if that's the case. I thought green cards are a type of visa. No. A green card in the United States of America, once you have a green card, you're considered a lawful permanent resident. Every 3 to 5 years, I think, you should be able to renew your green card as long as nothing crazy has happened or whatever. But you don't have to apply for a visa. You can come in and out of the U.S. if you want. Is it 10 years? Oh, 3 to 5 years. I felt like for Melina's, it was 3 to 5 years. Am I crazy? Or maybe that was how long you had to wait to apply for citizenship after you had a green card. I think it's 3 years if you got one through marriage, and it might be 5 years if you didn't. But then maybe you have to renew them every 10 years. Okay. Lady sent back to Laos after living here since she was 8 months. Okay, no more links. I have so many links over right now to go through. But yeah, Roberts issuing a public statement on this was... In 2018, the last one he issued, he defended the independence and integrity of the federal judiciary after Trump, again, called a judge who ruled against his administration's asylum policy an Obama judge. The Chief Justice said that was a profound misunderstanding of the judicial role. We do not have Obama judges or Trump judges, Bush judges or Clinton judges, he said in a statement then. What we have is an extraordinary group of dedicated judges doing their level best to do equal right to those appearing before them. That independent judiciary is something we should all be thankful for. 2 years later, he denounced Senator Chuck Schumer of New York, the Democratic leader, for comments at a rally outside the Supreme Court. Mr. Schumer, speaking while the court heard arguments in a major abortion case, attacked 2 of Mr. Trump's appointees, Justices Neil M. Gorsuch and Brett M. Kavanaugh. You have released the whirlwind and you will pay the price, Mr. Schumer said. You will not know what hit you if you go forward with these awful decisions. Roberts condemned these remarks. Justices know that criticism comes to the territory, but threatening statements of this sort from the highest levels of government are not only inappropriate, they are dangerous. Okay. Tone it down, guys. Just like the Republicans are. Somebody in Discord? No, I just updated it. Oh, we didn't even finish this, sorry.
Continued. And this judge, Judge Boasberg, is a Democrat activist. He was appointed by Barack Obama. His wife has donated more than $10,000 to Democrats, and he has consistently shown his disdain for this president and his policies, and it's unacceptable.
Right where I wanted to go about the idea of these...
Like, it's such an unhinged statement, but whatever.
People are all foreign terrorists, but Judge Boasberg was originally appointed by George W. Bush and then elevated by Barack Obama. It's just...
Ooh, wow. Who are you? You get him out of here. Who is this guy? An actual journalist? What? What?
And elevated by Barack Obama. I just feel like I should clear that up.
Well, let me just say...
What is, wait, I want to... reward these people with at least one nice tweet. What's this guy's Twitter account? Do we know? Every journalist has a fucking Twitter account. What is it? Does he say his name at the beginning?
I have one other question, but I want to follow up on Katie's question, actually. You said the mass deportation campaign would continue, but she asked about the flights specifically.
He's gone. The deep state got him. It's this dude. Oh. Cool. Thank you. Got it. I haven't followed this story closely, but I heard that they released the JFK files, but that the JFK files are literally just the same exact ones that Biden released, but they updated the date on it. Is that true? Okay. I don't know how true it is. Not really. They unredacted a lot of shit. Oh, did they? Okay. Have we figured out if the Jews did it yet? That's all I want to know.
Get rid of once you get to that level and know exactly kind of the approach and how you want to play your defenses or how you want to play your attackers just based off that first half.
Bomb located by attackers.
Looking like
What is this background noise?
it's going to be a pretty default setup from the side of team skills. Nothing too crazy here. I am expecting that.
Who's doing a Rainbow Six ad?
Get rid of
Is he? If so, that's pretty funny. You should have had like a vest for the dog though, with Rainbow Six on it. This dog is so big and adorable. Look at how much of a floofer he is.
looking like it's going to be a pretty default setup from the
Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. How are those pit bulls? This is not a pit bull. It's a, I don't remember what it's called, but. Oh, I'm doing a debate somewhere. Scam warning for Steven. I saw this ad for a Pangburn event featuring Destiny. Travis Pangburn is a scam artist and owes thousands of people money, unpaid speaker fees, and tickets to events that didn't happen, including Sam Harris. See link for more info. I was forced to follow the event nearly 2 months ago and have said little about it since. Oh, fuck. Let's read it. Okay, hold on. As many of you know, the Day of Reflection conference scheduled for November 17th in New York City has been canceled, and some hundreds of ticket holders are now left seeking refunds. I was forced to follow the event nearly 2 months ago and have said very little about it since. Now that Travis Pangburn has officially announced he will be folding his touring company, Pangburn Philosophy, I can give a brief account of what happened. I participated in 10 events organized by Pangburn Philosophy between September 2017 and July 2018. I didn't always approve of the way those events were staged or marketed, but all of them appeared to be successful. However, after the cancellation of August 2018 conference in Auckland, Pangburn seemed intent on running his business off a cliff. He owed a lot of money to several speakers at that point, in the form of unpaid fees and reimbursements. Most egregiously, he seemed less than fully committed to refunding ticket holders for the canceled Auckland conference. At this point, I had 2 more dates on the calendar with Pangburn. Dialogue, this Day of Reflection. I came my points to Toronto because I was contractually obligated. After Toronto, however, it became clear that Pangburn not be trusted to put his house in order, facing a total lack of transparency. Realized Pangburn using my ongoing association with the book future speakers. I withdrew from the New York City. After I withdrew from the New York City conference, my management team to give us the email addresses of all ticket holders so we could notify them that I was no longer involved with the event. Pangburn refused to provide this information. However, he assured us that he would notify everyone himself. At the same time I pulled out the New York City conference, I assumed that the revenue for ticket sales would be sold safely in the box office and Pangburn would be obliged to issue refunds. That's how it normally works, especially Henry New York ticket holders might suffer the same fate. Okay, well, I'm not like getting paid for this, so I shouldn't say that actually. I think he is paying me $500 for it. But I'll show up to my event. Don't get scammed. Good luck. Do you never email event organizers asking them not to use the same one pic? I had a guy show up who wanted to do like super weird. No, I shouldn't say weird. I'm sorry. A very stylistically unique portrait series of me. He's doing a bunch of political streamers, but I also asked him to do new headshots of me. Hopefully I get those soon. And then once I have those, I can start sending those out instead of using this Lex Friedman picture. Or actually, this isn't the Lex Friedman one. I think this came from my Wired article. Do you think? Oh, no, wait. This is my Lex Friedman one. Wait. No, it's this one. It is the wired one. Okay. This is probably a better picture, but... John Roberts didn't just go out of his way yesterday to trash Trump on a purely political matter, impeachment of corrupt judges, over which Roberts has no authority. He did it by selectively leaking his statements to left-wing corporate media outlets, lying about its nature, claiming it was only in response to the press inquiries rather than a general statement, and refusing to provide the full statement to conservative media outlets when requested, including Federalist. Is this even how big is this publication? I feel like it's like an alternative media news thing. The Federalist? Oh, okay. To date, no one knows the full extent of what Roberts and his taxpayer-funded PR agents have said because no record of any statement from the court can be found anywhere on the Supreme Court website, a shocking breach of protocol and transparency. Did the left-wing corporate media outlets, handpicked by Roberts to receive his political rant, print it in full, or did they selectively quote it? It is impossible to know because Chief Justice refusing to be transparent about what he said and who he said it to. I would say it's kind of weird that this statement wouldn't just be published on the Supreme Court website. But I don't know if you normally publish things on the Supreme Court website. Like those types of statements. That was one of the Twitter profiles in my edit, the Federalist. It was one of the Twitters on the ABC edit. I will say, though, but I mean, Robert's statement was correct. He didn't go out of his way yesterday to trash Trump on a purely political matter, the impeachment of corrupt judges. It's so funny that when these fucking dick sucks talk about Donald Trump and his impeachment, they're like, you should only impeach on criminal stuff. It's got to be a real big deal to impeach somebody. And then when it comes to impeachment for judges, oh, impeachment? That's just a little politics. That's just a political process. That's just a little political thing. Ah. Can you go live on Kick? Wait, have I not been live on Kick? Been live on Kick? What the fuck are you talking about? Okay. What Roberts was saying is if you want to impeach a judge, it needs to be over, like, bad behavior. It can't be because you disagree with the decision, which is true. You should never be impeaching a judge because you disagree with the decision. That usurps the role of the judiciary. It says that, well, your decisions are good only as long as we agree with them. But in that case, then you don't need a judiciary. You just need an executive, and they make their own decisions, right? But... United States District Court in the District of Columbia. Motion to stay the March 18th minute order. What is this over? The deportation stuff? About the movements of aircraft outside the United States and interactions with foreign nations, which have no bearing on any legal issue at stake in the case. The underlying premise of these orders, including the most recent one, regarding the production of these facts ex parte today at noon, is that the judicial branch is superior to the executive branch, particularly on non-legal matters involving foreign affairs and national the government. Wait, what the fuck? Who wrote this? Motion is... What began as a dispute between litigants over the authority to protect the national security and manage the foreign relations. Oh, this is the government. Okay. Sorry, I was like, wait, this is insane, but I understand. Pam wrote it. Okay, it comes from the Trump government. Makes sense. Okay. The two branches are co-equal, and the court's continued intrusions into the prerogatives of the executive branch, especially on a non-legal and factually irrelevant matter, should end. The two branches are co-equal? What does this mean? I mean, like, how do you describe... I don't like the term co-equal, because it's not co-equal. It's like asymmetrically equal. Does that make sense? Like, they don't have the exact same authority on every issue. They have higher authorities on some issues that the other doesn't, if that makes sense. Like, like they're covering different realms of authority. Like, the executive branch and the judicial branch are not co-equal insofar as statements on what the law are, or what the law is. Sorry, what the laws are, what the law is. And the judicial branch does not have the same authority that the executive branch has to enforce the laws, right? So they're not co-equal in that case. They are, it's a checks and balance system. I'm being a little bit pedantic here, but she's invoking the term co-equal, like they should have the same say over what the law is. The court's pending questions relate to a comment by the court to a government attorney suggesting incorrectly that the attorney had the ability to divert aircraft operating in the president's direction on an extraterritorial mission to remove members of a designated foreign terrorist organization from the United States in connection with one or more sensitive diplomatic agreements requiring months of negotiation. The comment betrayed a complete misunderstanding of the serious national security, safety, regulatory, and logistical problems presented by a fiat from the court directed at pilots operating outside the United States and was made without regard to whether any such aircraft could feasibly be diverted or even had enough fuel to safely do so. You can always tell when you're reading arguments from like a Trump DOJ or from like a Trump appointee. I shouldn't say appointee, but like all these like, no, yeah, I could say appointee, because they don't actually make any legal arguments. They type like Redditors or Twitter users. It's actually insane how much this language and attitude has permeated to the deepest levels of government. Further, the court did not pause the hearing to give the attorney an opportunity to act on the remark, nor did it memorialize the remark in the subsequent minute order. One of the arguments I heard that they tried to go through is actually a verbal order from a judge. That doesn't count. It's got to be written. It's got to be in PDF format, or it's got to be printed out. I need a Xerox of it before I can actually take that statement seriously, which I don't believe anybody actually agrees with. I think it's an insane statement. Genuine question, when you do reading streams, why don't you just play an audiobook and play a video game? When I'm reading, when I read, it's almost always nonfiction. Now it's almost always nonfiction historical. When I'm taking in a bunch of new information, my brain needs to be fully engaged with it. I can't like play a game and take in a bunch of new information and contextualize and everything else at the same time. It wouldn't be possible. I wouldn't be absorbing as much. Jesus. You aren't reading if you're listening to an audiobook? I super disagree with that. I think you can listen to an audiobook and be fully engaged and fully plugged in. You just have to be deliberate about it. The reason why you tend to absorb more while reading than if you're listening to like an audiobook is because you can get away with listening to an audiobook and not paying attention, or listening to an audiobook and just watching or doing something else. Whereas when you're reading, it kind of forces you to be a little bit more present or mindful, I guess, in the consumption of the media. Although you can have those moments while reading too. But like listening to an audiobook is, imagine while you're reading, you know, sometimes when you read a paragraph and it's like really boring or you're checked out, you don't care, and you like, I don't know what the fuck I just read, and you have to reread the same paragraph like 4 times. The thing is, with an audiobook, you could do that, but you don't even realize you need to re-listen because you're not paying attention, and then it just keeps going and going, and by the end of it, you've absorbed nothing, so. Earlier, you were wondering if you should repeat the cultural Marxism point. It's also just referred to as the conflict perspective in sociology and political philosophy. Oh, okay. Do you say that you've read books you've listened to? Yeah, for sure. Why not? I listened to 1984, but I say I've read 1984. I think I listened to, when I used to drive to like MLGs and events, I would listen to audiobooks. I Am Legend book, No Country for Old Men. Those are fictional. The movie was better on both of those, by the way. I Am Legend and No Country for Old Men. The movie was better than both those books. The movies were better. I listened to John Stewart had a book, I think, something about America. I didn't like that one very much. Even though I was a big fan of John Stewart, I thought the book was meh. Have you read Halo: The Fall of Reach? I read way back in the day, there were 3 Halo books that were published. I read all 3 of those, but I don't know anything since then. Books are a terrible way of passing along information. You know it's true. What? Brave New World, Fahrenheit 451, and We. No, haven't read any of those. There is no serious dispute that the government complied with the minute order, and the pending questions are grave encroachments on core aspects of absolute and unreviewable executive branch authority relating to national security. Unreviewable. Whoa. Whoa. Unreviewable. Unreviewable means a court cannot examine the action. Foreign relations and foreign policy. Even addressing the question in an ex parte submission. What does this mean? After the fact? No. Means from one side or by one party only. Ah, okay. So when only one side has gotten to submit a response and the other hasn't yet. It's ex parte. Parte? Oh, sorry. Will result in an immediate flood of media inquiries and demands for the information, subject to diplomatic relations, but not acceptable. Certainty about how the court would address these demands. Worse, the risk created by addressing the court's pending questions would undermine the executive branch's ability to negotiate with foreign sovereigns in the future by subjecting all the arrangements resulting from any such negotiation. What about the fact that you're deporting people in the United States? I feel like that's more what this is about. It's not about your negotiating with foreign countries or anything. Jesus. The government continues to object to the compelled disclosures of the immaterial information sought and believes that the court's actions to date represent grave usurpations of the president's usurpations, right? Of the president's powers under the Alien Enemies Act and his inherent Article 2 powers. Subject to that continuing objection, the government submits that a stay is warranted here for 4 reasons. Why does John not run for office? Who the fuck is John? Oh, Jon Stewart, sorry. I don't know. Maybe he'll gear up to. How old is he? Oh, 62? He's way too young.
Tougher with Canada than you are with some of our biggest adversaries.
Only
Why?
because any one of
But you're
our...
tougher with Canada than you are with some of our biggest adversaries.
Only
Why?
because it's meant to be our 51st Street. And
Okay, but
but listen to this for a
we
second.
need their territory. They have territorial advantage. We're not going to let them get close to China.
Look,
right?
I deal with every country, indirectly or directly. One of the nastiest countries to deal with is Canada. The people that, now this was Trudeau, the people that good old Justin, I call him Governor Trudeau, his people were nasty. And they weren't telling the truth. They never told the truth. You know that anyone...
Okay, man, those allies. Is SCOTUS blog an official website of the Supreme Court? It's a .com, so I'm guessing no, right? Chief Justice Roberts criticized a call by... Like when it says public statement, and I've read this over and over again by John Roberts, or by things talking about John Roberts' statement, it was a public statement. What does public statement mean? Where was it at? In a statement released by the Supreme Court's Public Information Office on Tuesday. Okay. Where is that? The Supreme Court. Public Information Office. In a statement really... Oh, so maybe they just... emailed this out to people? I don't know. ICE picks up random Latino man who was born in Chicago while buying a pizza. The 22 cases include Chicago resident Julio Noriega, 54, a U.S. citizen who, according to court documents, was arrested, handcuffed, and spent most of the night at an ICE processing center in suburban Broadview. He was never questioned about his citizenship and was only released after agents looked at his ID. Hi, baby. Oh, hi, my baby. Oh, hello. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a United States citizen. Noriega, or Norieja? I don't know how to pronounce this guy's name. Said in a statement, adding that on January 31st, after buying pizza in Berwyn, he was surrounded by ICE agents and arrested. Officers took away my wallet, which had his ID and social security card. They then handcuffed me and pushed me into a white van where other people were handcuffed as well. Okay. Meow. If you are... Okay, never mind. It says arrested in here. Did I read detained anywhere? Because this would be a full-on fucking arrest. You're not even detaining the guy. You're just arresting him. You're taking him to another place. On what? They need probable cause or something, right? I don't know. That's weird. Do they have grounds to sue the government? Maybe. I don't know. No. Oh, God. He goes back there and he meows and he's going to start fucking up my soundproofing. What do you want? Stop. I hear you. Stop. 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 What are you doing? No. Buddy. What do you want? Look. You can sit right here. Look at how cool this is. Yes. There. Jesus. Okay, whatever. Then don't. I don't care. Just don't go back there. I know you're fucking with my shit intentionally. Jesus. No one could have imagined Milwaukee mother would be deported to Laos, former lawyer says. What? Hi. A former lawyer for the Hmong. Is that really what people from Laos are called? They're called Hmongs? Hi. Come up here. Was brought to the United States at 8 months old and lived in Milwaukee until she was deported 11 days ago to Laos. Says her expulsion came as a complete surprise. What? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Ma Yang, 37, was born in Thailand and attained legal status as a permanent U.S. resident before the mother of five was stripped of her green card by the Trump administration. Scoot. Some 2+ years after being released from federal prison. What? Why? What are you doing? That's my camera. Oh, look, you should say hi. Honey, put your face. Look, up there. Look. Honey. Oh, he's being weird right now. What? What are you doing? It's kind of like Among Us? Okay, sorry, Jesus. U.S. resident before the mother of five was stripped of her green card by the Trump admin some 2+ years after being released from federal prison, where she served 30 months on marijuana-related charges. In February, U.S. Immigrations and Customs Enforcement told Yang to report to the agency's Milwaukee facility. When she showed up, agents detained Yang, sent her to Indiana, then Chicago, and finally was shipped off to Laos. Jesus. I wish they would say, what marijuana-related charges? I wish they would just add that in here, just for my own mental ease. Like, was she selling like 4,000 pounds of marijuana? Like, I imagine it probably wasn't insignificant if she was in prison for 30 months. Like, what was the charge here? But also, damn, deporting? She's got 5 kids? The fuck? I scheduled the surgery for my youngest son. We've always wanted a daughter and figured we can save some money on her college with some track/swimming scholarships. He doesn't want it, but... Oh, I don't know if I do that anymore, dude. Now that they got rid of DEI and all that shit, I don't even think you have a good deal on daughters anymore. In a previous interview with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, Yang said her attorney in the case never told her deportation was a possibility. Defense attorney Matt Ritchie, who represented Ma Yang in the 2020 marijuana case, disputed this on Monday, saying his files and notes showed otherwise. He said he told Yang at the time that deportation could happen, but that he didn't think it would happen. We knew that Lao didn't take people from the U.S. Ritchie told The Independent. She was doing her time, and when she got out of prison, she would presumably stay in the U.S., but there was no guarantee. There were no deportations to Lao. The idea of it never crossed anybody's mind. Ritchie said on Monday that many of Yang's 12 siblings had been born in the U.S., but the fact that Yang was born in a refugee camp overseas simply made her the victim of stupid birth circumstances. It was really just a weed case, he added, with astonishment. She was such a small pawn in this whole thing. It was bad. Even if she didn't get kicked out of the country, she didn't do anything that deserved 30 months. But while Yang's present situation has received widespread attention, the harrowing details of her early life have not been previously covered. No, you're not going up there because you eat my light. Yeah, get out of here. She was here at 8 months old. God damn. I'm so curious. Like, we never get follow-ups on these stories. Or I'm sure there are actually profiles. But, like, what happens to people like this? Like, imagine you've lived in the U.S. since you're 8 months old, and then you get shipped to a country that you basically have never really been in before, right? Because remember, Denham said you don't form memories until you're 5 years old. But seriously, I mean, at 8 months, you wouldn't remember anything. Like, what do these people do? Like, you get off the plane and it's like, good luck. And you're like, okay, well, where do you go? What do you do? Jesus. September 2020, Yang and Bub were among 26 people arrested in a massive takedown coordinated by federal authorities. Investigators had been eavesdropping on Yang's calls, which they said proved her involvement in a cross-country... Stop! Why are you being so obnoxious? Stop! Get out! Get out of here! My God. In a massive takedown with this involvement... in a cross-country trafficking ring that shipped marijuana between California and Wisconsin, that she'd received and packaged cannabis and cash and stored numerous firearms in the home she shared with Bub. Okay, so it was a bigger thing than just like smoking weed. I feel like you're bearing the lead a little bit here. Like, I still don't think they should be deported, but I wish people would just be more upfront, like in the beginning of the article, because other people make accusations that they're being schemy or whatever, even though it's in the article. But investigators had been eavesdropping on Yang's call. Okay, Yang's initial involvement came when her sister Zena, asked if she could have packages delivered to her home. According to the sentencing memo, Ma agreed, but specifically chose not to ask what was in the packages, the memo states. It did not take long to figure out something illicit was occurring, but she did not ask what was in the packages, the memo contends. She was told by her sister that she couldn't get in trouble if she didn't know what was in the packages. Oh, fuck. Where did this argument come up at? I remember we argued over some criminal thing before, but like, if somebody... If I tell you, hey, I've got a big package, can you go deliver this to a friend? But like, I'm not going to tell you what's in it. And I'm going to give you $50. He's on the other side of town. Can you do this for me? And you're like, okay. If you deliver that package and it ends up that there's like a head, like a body, or, you know, drugs or whatever in it, assuming you don't know what's in the package and you have no reason to know, you're probably okay, I think. But if the exact same situation happens, but the friend offers you $5,000 to transport it, I think that can be used as evidence against you in criminal court, where it's like, you knew that something was not good there. You knew that something, like, I think that can go towards trying to establish the intent, because you're being offered a sum of money that's so outside of what the ordinary offer would be that it speaks to a state of mind, I think. Oh yeah, I think we looked this up. This came out about in the Tenet Media thing. Yeah. In court filings, Yang, who had no prior criminal record, placed the bulk of the blame for the weapons on Bub, who was released from prison in January 24. He was a gun enthusiast, owned the firearms legally, and enjoyed going to the range. According to a 2020 bail motion, Ritchie submitted to the court. The subsequent, okay, that's different then. They made it sound like this was like a stash house with like fucking an armory ready to go to war with the cops or some bullshit. But the subsequent sentencing memo points to Yang's sister and her boyfriend's sister, and her sister's boyfriend is the ones who roped her into the situation, contending that Yang felt immense shame of her own for her actions. She certainly regrets her involvement in her crimes, but she has other significant regrets as well. She's not in her family, watching her children grow on video camera. She's not helped her children with their homework. Her children, who cares? Fucking kids. You can always make more. She's guilty. She has suffered. She has no... Okay. Damn. Obviously bad, but the extent of her involvement was receiving packages, which she obviously shouldn't have done. I don't know if 30 months in prison is appropriate. Maybe. But deported? Damn. That's wild. Oh, here is a question. You bring this up if you guys watch Pisco stream. I'm just curious on this. You know how right now we're having this conversation about your First Amendment rights as a lawful permanent resident, and people are saying that you apparently don't have First Amendment rights? That's like the contention that Republicans, I guess, are making now. Isn't it kind of weird that corporations enjoy protections for their freedom of speech? So theoretically, could a lawful permanent resident in the United States form a business, and the business that they form and run has more First Amendment rights than they do? Isn't that kind of strange? Would that be the case? Like, theoretically, a business could publish on their Twitter feed, or could publish an ad saying, we support Hamas, donate to us, or we support Hamas, buy and shop here, and the business would be fine. But if the individual who owned the business published that same statement, they could be deported for supporting a terrorist group? That's kind of weird. The business would have to be founded in the U.S., right? Yeah. But it's just, you know. Destiny, I just called the Supreme Court to find out why Robert's statement isn't on their website. The lady on the phone told me this was his response to press inquiries provided by the spokeswoman who works for the PIO of the court. Okay. What happened to the ACLU? Did Doge dismantle them too? Haven't heard a peep from them regarding this. I don't know. I haven't heard much from the ACLU recently. They might be tweeting or making statements. We just haven't looked it up, but... French scientist reportedly denied U.S. entry due to Trump criticism. A French scientist on his way to a conference in the U.S. was allegedly denied entry by Customs and Border Patrol over messages found on his phone that criticized President Trump's science cuts. A space researcher was randomly selected upon arrival in Houston for a search, and CBP found messages criticizing the Trump admin's treatment of scientists, which, according to the agency, conveyed hatred of Trump and could be qualified as terrorism. Did you read the TDS bill? You mean the guy who just got fucked in a sting for trying to solicit a minor? RIP. The researcher's phone and computer were allegedly confiscated, and he was sent back to Europe the next day. The news prompted the attention of the French government, which expressed alarm. Really? This would have been taken by the U.S. authorities because the researcher's phone contained exchanges with colleagues in friendly relations in which he expressed a personal opinion on the Trump admin's research policy. According to one source cited by agency France Presse, CBP, Customs Border Patrol, said that the French researcher expressed hate and conspiracy messages, prompting an FBI investigation, only for the charge to be dropped later. Another source said the scientist was banned due to messages that can be described as terrorism. The incident marks a disturbing change in how visitors to the U.S. are treated. Legitimate criticism. I'm so curious what the messages were, because I could see it. Like, there's a world where I'm sympathetic to this, but there's also worlds where I think it would be crazy. Like, if he's saying shit like, if they let me into this fucking country, I'm gonna Charlie Hebdo this motherfucker, then I get it. But if it's just like this fucking retard is defunding all the science shit because he's an actual downy fuck, and that's like hatred or terror, I don't know. That seems... Do we know what the guy actually said? No, I don't think anything's been released. Which makes me think it probably wasn't that extreme because they would have released it. No, right? Wait, can Customs read her messages without a warrant? I have no clue. I don't know. I think at the border, I don't think you have fuck all for rights. Even U.S. citizens, I don't think have the same rights at the border coming into the country as you do otherwise. Have you seen the stuff about the Daily Wire today? No, not yet, but I got like 20 links open, so we'll get to stuff.
Listen, please get everybody to be quiet.
Also, oh my God, just as a quick two real life things. I don't know if I was just in the wrong area of town, but the interview that I did with Santos was in, is the southern part of Manhattan, is that considered downtown Manhattan? It is. Okay. I will say from firsthand experience now, oh my fucking God. Whatever that toll shit is that New York implemented, bro, I feel like I'm in London. Like the traffic, that didn't make sense of you. Sorry. The traffic is way better than I expected it to be. Like, this was crazy. And it was on weekdays as well. This was so insane to me how much better the traffic was here. Holy fuck. Isn't that over? I thought it ended. I thought I heard something about it ending. But when I was in Manhattan the last few days, oh my God. I had to keep checking my watch. I'm like, is it Sunday? Is it Saturday? Is it a weekend? Even on weekends, it would be busier. LA traffic makes everything else look like the most efficient shit ever. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, the congestion pricing stuff. Oh my God, it was so good. Jesus. New York traffic clears up past 10 a.m. since COVID. Is that true? Traffic in New York has never really been that bad. I guess. But I'm coming from LA, so living in LA just changes your perspective on so much in the world, I guess. Like traffic in New York didn't seem like that big of a deal compared to LA. Homelessness in New York was like non-existent compared to LA. I don't know, just being in LA is just like changes your perspective, I feel, on a lot of things. Jesus. You want to talk about traffic? Toronto's traffic is brutal. Toronto is pretty bad, sure. New York has decent public transport. Yeah, that's true too. And the cabs are good. Is LA traffic so bad? It's bad. LA traffic is very bad. There was a brief moment in time where I almost considered killing my, no, I'm just kidding, where I almost considered not having a manual because the clutch, gas, clutch, brake, clutch, gas, clutch, brake, like on the 5, or the 405 was just agony. I can see you're live on Kick, but on my browser, but not on the mobile app. Only complaining because YouTube kills my battery at work. Could that be a broadcaster setting restricting mobile viewing, or is my app cooked? I don't know. Are other people on Kick watching me on the app? How do you guys have all these battery issues on your phones? Do you not charge your shit constantly, or like get like a portable battery? I feel like my phone is like always plugged into a charger, and I'm super paranoid about battery life. Like I always have like an extra battery with me and everything, and I never end up using. That guy probably has an iPhone. I have an iPhone. I just checked the app and it works fine. Okay. Why do millennials like manuals so much? I don't think they do. I think manual's pretty rare in the US among anybody. Millennials might have been the last generation whose parents drove manual, because that used to be more common. Watching on YouTube is better than Kick because you can close your screen and still listen at work. When you move to Kick only, I have to keep the phone unlocked in my pocket at work. Is that true? You can't play it from the lock screen? I always find that works. It's just really inconsistent on iPhone. Like I just have to like open an app and close it and open it like 20 times, and then sometimes the lock screen will have a play button and sometimes it won't, and it just depends. I remember for a while, did YouTube get rid of this, or is it because I have like YouTube Pro or whatever the fuck? It used to be that you couldn't play YouTube while it was either locked or tabbed out of on your phone. I don't know if they rolled that back, but that's a YouTube Premium feature? Damn, that's brutal. Can you go over how to drive stick/paddles? Just got in a car with manual, don't want to break the engine. If it's paddles, you just bump the paddle and it goes up and down, so it doesn't matter. If it's a stick shift, just keep pushing the gas and it'll always go. Boom, vroom, vroom. I don't know. Everyone drives manual in Europe? That's so not true. There are more, I think there are more automatics than manuals in Europe. Manual versus automatic popularity in Europe. I think they might call it standard over there. I don't know. Current numbers have new cars with manuals close to 30% in Europe. So it's trending down a lot. At this point with car tech, it's been this way probably for at least like 10 years. Automatics are just superior to manuals in every single way. The only reason you get a manual is because you just enjoy driving it. I like driving manual cars, fun. But otherwise, like, it's better gas mileage and everything else, I think, on an automatic. And I don't even know if the prices are that different between the two now. Millennials were the last ones to experience them actually having better gas mileage than automatic. No wonder they're... Yeah, probably, yeah. Because back then the automatics had... I don't know why. They either didn't have as many gears or something was going on. How mad are you, fish? How many times have you been to Montreal? I think just once. Super beautiful city and cool people. Or maybe twice, actually. Do you see that Bannon announced that he's working on a Trump third term? He'll be too old. There's no way. Copium, 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 copium. In awful traffic, do you do short bursts of moving or crawl as slowly as possible for as long as possible? You have to do short bursts. Or if you're a trucker, you'll probably be crawling. The reason why you have to do short bursts, though, is because if you just try to crawl along and you try to, like, there's a world where you can time your rolling so that you never have to actually, like, stop and go. But if you do that and you're in an aggressive place, like in a city like LA or whatever, people will cut you off. So you have to burst. If you try to roll, people will just cut you off and then you have to slam your brakes anyway. What do you drive? I have a Ford Focus RS. If I see you in Discord, Twitter, any other part of the internet, say that you have a Ford Focus, I'm coming for that ass, okay? Learn the difference. This is not my car. This is cringe, okay? This is my car. Way different, okay? Way different, okay? Not this. Not this. This, okay? Fuck you. Oh, also, I finished watching the show called The Curse. Did anybody watch that? What an interesting series. Or show. Would you call it a series? It was 10 episodes. Why do people get triangle cars? So fucking ugly. I hate them. The worst car ever. Wait. I thought that was only like a Miami Beach thing. Are you talking about... Wait, what are these? I agree. They look horrible. What the fuck am I looking at? Wait, I don't even know if we're thinking of the same thing, though. Fuck, what are the... Oh, wait, it's this thing. I'm seeing these around Miami so often. They're fucking hideous and annoying, and they always have music blaring, and it's always dog shit music. What is this called? A slingshot. I've been watching a lot of House MD, and I've concluded that you based your entire personality on Gregory House. Is this true? No, they base House on me, okay? I see these things everywhere. No, I'm talking about your car where the hood and the windshield are almost the same angle. Oh, it's for aerodynamics. Fuck you, okay? So you can go fast.